Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Oh, camera focus. Camera focus. It's me. Uh, Hi. Well, welcome in. A little bit of a different stream tonight. We are gonna build some post-rotation decks for the Pokemon TCG. Um, so rotation, for those of you that don't know, is this thing that happens every year. Some old cards get taken out of what is called the standard format, and basically it keeps the game fresh, prevents you from having to track down a 10-year-old $500 card for a deck, stuff like that. And so when that happens, the meta shakes up a lot. You have to take current decks and rebuild them. You have to just think of entirely new options, and so it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy rotation time, especially this rotation. I'm going to look forward to the new format because I'm a little tired of this one. It's stale, so it'll be fun. Welcome in, Gage. Yeah, cough cough Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh's are pretty egregious with it. I think Magic's not great either. Um, where it's just like, oh yeah, you need like 5 of this $300 card in order to play this like archetype properly. Okay, cool. But yeah, let's get into it. We jump over here. So I'm using the Pokegear app, which is created by Jake Gearhart, who is a pretty prominent player in the TCG. It's really nice. You can go and search. We can filter. So for instance, I will filter by standard, so it's only showing cards that are currently in standard. One downside is it does not have the newest set, but what we can do to get around that is I can drag in manually a card, and then it's in there. A lot of these are in Japanese, so I might have to explain them as we go, but yeah. Yeah, and then, we can go over here, we can go like, oh hey, we need Beldums for our thing. What Beldums are in standard and which one's the best to pick? And so on and so forth. Mansplain harder for me? Yeah, exactly. I feel like Magic is more the pulls are garbage. Yeah, I mean, I've never actually tried to play either of the other big card games. Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic, I guess now, Lorcana's getting big, One Piece is getting big. I haven't played those. Because I just don't have the same kind of nostalgia and love for the characters. So. I think you can do the same thing with Limitless English proxies. I can try. Does Limitless have all of the English proxies up? Because if so, I should be able to do it. Let me move this off the screen here just a little bit. Proxies. Oh, the annoying thing about Limitless is I'm going to have to type each one in, whereas with the Temporal Forces, I can just take them from this kind of like big page of them and just kind of scroll down. So it might require us to do a little bit of translating on the fly, but I think I prefer that. Just because it makes it easier to drag in stuff. A lot of times it's going to be a card that's either the deck's focused around or a card that is just like, hey, there's a higher HP Turtwig or whatever. And so we can kind of just manually go through those and figure out, what makes sense and stuff like that. Yeah. I just move my window. I can't move my window. It breaks the whole setup. Don't do that, Zach. Can you translate Prime Catcher for me? Yeah, exactly. We'll be doing 1 or 2 of those where it's like, hey, this is what this card does. Now you know what it does. We're going to use it in other decks too. Buddy Putty Bachman's going to be the same way, and so on and so forth. So something I really want to start with is Torterra. I have played Torterra for a while. It is a very silly, cool little rogue deck. We are getting a Torterra EX. We are getting a better Turtwig. I pulled a so this weekend started pre-releases for this new set. I pulled a Torterra EX at the first pre-release. So I'm set. I'm not set, as you'll see. I think the idea for the deck is app 2. But I am excited for that deck, and I am going to be playing it. So I think we're going to start by building that. Also, I realized it was no better than Lindsay and that I dipped before we traded promos. Exactly. I thought the same thing on the way home, Gage. I was like, Gage and I never traded. We'll have to do that some other time. This man has been making a Torterra thing in his heckin' Notes app on his phone. My Notes app actually is all of the decks that I want to make tonight, or all the decks we could possibly make tonight. We're definitely not going to make them all, but just a list of stuff that we can build tonight. Okay, so let's start with it. So the very first thing that we'll need is Turtwigs. We're going to run 4 Turtwigs, and we're going to run the new Turtwig, because the new Turtwig is better. This one, can I zoom in any further? Yeah, okay. So, 80 HP, the other Turtwig in Standard is 80 HP as well, so there's no difference there. Unfortunately, these are not grabbable with Buddy Buddy Poppin'. This one has a fat re-retreat, but we really don't care about that. The ability, it takes 20 less damage from attacks. That's the good part. So we are going to run 4 of those guys. And then Grotle, we are going to use an older one. Not Grovel, this is going to get nice and autocorrect on us, I'm sure. So we're going to start by putting in 4 Grotles. This may not be the actual play to go with. This might be 3. We'll have to figure it out. It's okay, Doris. My partner also calls me a nerd. Yeah, I mean, if I wasn't being called a nerd, I'd feel actually kind of offended. But Grotle's got this great ability for Grass-type decks. Once during your turn, go find any Grass-type Pokemon you want. It is not limited, too. So you can chain Grotles together. Once you got 3 Grotles set up, go find 3 of anything you want in your turn. It is great. So, Grotle's going to be a true powerhouse. And now we get to the Torterras, who are your actual attackers for this. And the Torterra that was originally being run is this guy. Does 50 damage for each of your evolutions in play. So you can get up to 300 damage with that, which is pretty good for a single prizer. Got 190 HP, which is also pretty good for a single prizer. So we're going to put 3 of those in to start. I was running 4 before, but now we are going to include this new EX that we just got. So that is not... Oh, is this going to be silly? Why are you putting it in with this guy, actually? That's pretty cringe. Hello? Okay. Oh, it piles them to... Oh! Hello? Why do you not think that that's a different card? That's weird. Limitless time? Maybe, yeah. Yeah, what proxies do they have on the proxy printer? If I do Turtwig... Is this the SV5K? Is what we want? See, so it's still in Japanese, interestingly. So if we do that, we do Torterra. It still recognizes them as the same. Super interesting. That is weird. What if I open them in new tabs? This might be the workaround. So if I do that in a new tab, and now I do this in a new tab. No. Fascinating. I did not test this before. I tested to make sure I could drag in. I didn't try dragging 2 different things in. We might be just proxying it using this kind of thing. I was hoping that we could drag the actual cards in, but it does not want to cooperate, which is always fun. If I do this, no, it really just thinks that they're the same card, huh? Is there a setting for that, maybe? Show hide individual card numbers. Huh. I'm gonna try one other thing. Hindsight. Maybe it just does not play nice with Apple Safari, and we need to open it in, like, Chrome or something. And if that's the case, we can pivot really quickly. So give me 1 second here. We are going to try that. Find Chrome. Maybe because the file has the same name. I would assume it has slightly different names, right? It's just like a different string of numbers or something. But who knows? I am not smart. Okay, got it open in Chrome. We're going to try this. Before I bring it over to the screen, we're just going to see if it actually works. Oh, I can't even drag it into Chrome. Weird. What if I try to do it the other way around? If I try to pull it from Chrome to Safari. Okay. That is the way to do it. Okay. Something about the Justin Basil page being in Safari is not liking it. So, that is okay. We can work with that. It is still super weird, but hey, this would not be a Doors stream if it wasn't some kind of weirdness, huh? So yeah, let's get this guy over here, let's say. And cool. Okay. Good try at weird champ, Depresso. Alright. No problem. We work with that. Okay. Anyway, we are going to start with 2. I think 2 is probably the optimal number for Torterra EXs. Not necessarily that you would play 2 in a game, but just that you don't want it to be prized. So Torterra EX, this first attack does 30 damage for each of your grass types in play. So again, up to 180, although as you'll see with the build that we're going to do, I think it's probably going to max at 150 most of the time. But the very good thing about this is it's only 1 energy. So if you ever don't have 2 energy in play, you can kind of call an audible and put this guy down. Or if you need 340 HP, you can put this guy down. I think you want to try to attack as much as possible with the single prizer, obviously. But this is your nice backup plan. Okay, so that's our Churchwig line. Grotle, Torterra EX, that's a whole deck, right? No, obviously not. Something I like doing in my Torterra decks is I play Kricketot and Kricketune. Kricketot and Kricketune are funny. So Kricketot just gets you to the Kricketune. The Kricketune gives everybody except himself, or other Kricketunes, plus 40 HP. Which means you can take this to 370, and you can take this to 230. And 230 is actually a very good number in the TCG. Because a lot of things hit for 220. The great thing is Zard is going to still 2-shot both Torterras without mods. Yeah, exactly, right? To start with, for sure. So it'll 2-shot this guy to start with. Even if they try to go for the Vitality Band, that's why you have Kricketune. And so if you can get that set up kind of comboed early, great going. We also need a decent draw engine in this deck, so that's where Bidoof comes in, and Babarrel, pretty standard draw engine. You really need to get this guy set up. Oh, hello? Babarrel? Pokegear, don't quit on me here. Oh my goodness, what's happening here? Whoa! Oh! Oh, it's all gone. It's all gone to hell. Oh no. Oh no. Chat. Put your prayers. Man, I love when stuff breaks immediately as you start streaming. That's the coolest thing, actually. Do you think our cards will stay if we reload the page? They do! Well, sort of. What? The Bidoof disappeared now. They do not want to load. Fascinating. Does that force it to load? Okay. Well then. Lovely. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. I've had a really great week, actually, so I'm not going to let this slow me down. We're going to keep trucking. Do I think Revavroom or Babarrel was the move for Dialga? I think it is Revavroom. Dialga is one of the ones I want to build on stream today. And I think it's Revavroom. Not necessarily because the metal synergy or anything like that, but because you're going to have a shit ton of energy in Dialga, so And Reverum gets you more cards as long as you can get rid of an energy. Okay, so yeah, don't worry about this. Oh, it took out my added ones. Okay, when we reloaded the page, that kind of makes sense because they wouldn't cache those. That would be a lot. So put you back in. 4, 2. By the way, chat, I am going to post these. I'm going to save these all and post these to the Discord. So do not worry. I will resolve this before posting it to the Discord. No, the bot's still broken, unfortunately. The link is somewhere around me, depending on what platform you're looking at. So yeah. Okay, so Bidoof, Bibarel, we can kind of click on them and know who they are, except now this is just not loading at all. Okay. Mr. Gearhart, I have questions. What's this do? Sort deck. No, that's not what we want. Help. Help. No, I'm kidding. Don't worry, we'll figure it out. Anyway, what other Pokemon do we want to put in here? So, normally, you would put in Manaphy and Jirachi. Or, I say normally. Right now, you would put in Manaphy and Jirachi. The Manaphy and Jirachi are not grass types. They are basic water and steel types. So they don't help with Evo Press damage. They don't help with Grass March damage or whatever the actual name of this card's attack is. But we can do better now. Because this... Well, I shouldn't pull it up in half a window for you guys. This Rabska is both of those cards combined. It is a grass type, so we can go find it. Yeah, it is clunky to use in most decks, but it has a great synergy fit right here in Torterra. So we're going to do that. Let's see if there is any, what is the basic of Rabska called? The little schnoz-looking guy, Relor? Let's go see if there's any good Relors. There's one in the new set that does, it's got 50 HP. Our other options are 40, 50, and 50. I think probably we'll put the new one in just because it's a one energy for 30. I think it does 10 damage to itself or something, but like that could be spicy for knocking out like a Roaring Moon or something. So we'll put the brand new one in. That'll be just a 1/1 line of those. Because you really only play like one Manaphy, one Jirachi here, and if you can't get it out, you kind of just take the L there. You don't need that cluttering up your deck. What other things would be good for Torterra? I'm trying to think of other grass types I include in there. I could also just, pull up my list. That would be kind of smart. My current list, that is. I don't have lists built for the new ones because that's what we're doing tonight. But we can look at my current list and see if there's anybody worth retaining, so to speak. I don't think there's any other new grass types worth including. One thought is the basic Shaman, which does 60 bench snipe to an EX or a V. But it is a basic, and so then that means that Evo Press doesn't get powered up as much. And so I don't know if it's particularly worth including. That might be a test it out and see how it works. Ah, yes! Gengar and Toes. I knew I was forgetting stuff. So, Gengar. Ooh, yeah, I can spell. Gengar is one that may or may not end up keeping in the cut. Why is it just disappearing stuff? That's crazy. Gengar, if it's in its the discard, can come back onto the bench. And so Gengar's really nice for the turn after somebody gets knocked out. You slam Gengar from the discard back to the bench. Gengar is an evolution, and so that can help Torterra go right back to hitting 300, even after your turn that you get knocked out. And so having one of those in there is pretty nice in my opinion. You throw it away at some point with an Ultra Ball or something, and then you use it for that purpose. And then Toad. So not the EX, but the Slime Mold Colony is really, really nice against decks that use Pokestop and Chien-Pao, both of which are cards that or decks that get cards back from the discard a lot, and Toad Scroll will stop that. So this is another 1/1 tech that normally would not fit well into another deck because it's a stage 1, but because we can go find those grass Pokemon on demand with Grotle, I think really works nicely in this. So we'll grab that, and we will grab a grass-type Toad School, absolutely. I think probably the Furious Kick ones is the one that makes sense. Oh, we could do the Spore one. Although that's got a 2 retreat, and you don't necessarily, if you start that, you probably want to be able to retreat it. So we'll probably do the Furious Kicks one. Yep. And again, 1 energy, potential for 30 damage, so you can, you know, pull off some silly kind of stuff out of nowhere if you get lucky. And you're in a bind. Welcome in, Mesmetronic. How you doing tonight? Radiant cards, Gage. I do not currently play any Radiants in this list. Really the only one that I could see making sense would be Serena. But the problem with Radiants is that they reduce Evo Press's damage. Because they're not Radiant. They're not evolved, and they never will be evolved. Greninja, we already have a draw in this Invisible Barrel. So yeah. I've never found a place for them in this list. I don't really think there is, because ideally you want your board state to be all evolutions and pretty much all grass types. Hope everyone's doing well. I am doing well. I'm having a good weekend, and we are brainstorming some card game stuff. I hope you are doing well, Mez. Alright, so I think that's probably about it for Pokemon. I mean, we're already at a lot of Pokemon in here. 26, and we might make some cuts to that, so, you know, we'll see. Okay, now for the unfun part. We can't use Buddy Poffin, because Turtwig is 80 HP. And Pokemon hates us. Grass types will never be good. Buddy Poffin could get Kricketot, it could get Bidoof. The Bidoof is gone now, don't worry about it, it's in the void. It could get Toad School and the Rellor, so, you know, maybe it's worth including one. We can kind of throw it in as a consideration. As you'll see, we're gonna do like an Arven Evolution TM combo here. I think that's probably the best way to play this. And so I could see Buddy Poffin being useful for a later Arven, like a turn 2 or 3 Arven. Great Ball would slap in this list unironically. Yes, it will. But to guarantee our basics, we are going to play 4 Nest Balls. Kind of no way around that. So, 1, 2, 3, 4 Nest Balls right into there. We are also going to put in some Ultra Balls. I don't know the exact number on this and what's going to be ideal. So, we'll start with probably 2. Actually, let's start with 3. And then, yeah, I do think Great Balls have a nice place in this list. There's a lot of Grass-type Pokemon. A lot of times we just want to hit something. And so we'll toss in probably 2 for now. And again, these numbers will change. You could slap my Great Ball? Ayo. Ayo. And so, yeah. The trainer numbers, we're going to start putting in trainer ideas first, and then we'll figure out the actual numbers as we go. It really, really sucks to have, like, an Arven. Okay, well, let's stop talking about the theoretical Arven. Let's put in Arvens. We're putting in 4 Arvens. And this is one of those, I want to go second decks, I want to Arven, and I want to Evolution TM. So we're probably going to put in 2 TM Evos. What did I say? I said Gage said Great Ball would slap, and Depresso said you could slap my Great Ball, which is unhinged if I've ever heard it, but I would not expect anything less from them. Also, welcome in, Nathan. Good to see you. I'm hungry and unhinged. Yes, that's pretty accurate. Okay. So we've put in our Arvens. They are no longer theoretical. Something that helps with Arven, it sucks to have Arven in hand and not have an energy to attach. How do you get around that? You play an Earthen Vessel. So we'll put in an earthen vessel. Another one that is nice to get with the Arven is a super rod. As you can tell, kind of an ideal prize math for this is going through like 3 or 4 Torterras and then maybe like 1 EX. And so we've got to recycle Torterras, we've got to recycle Turtwigs. And so there's a rod. I think we might bump this to 2. That's another one that maybe we bump back down to 1 now that we have more Torterra attackers. Ionos are great for this because you just want to be able to see a lot of cards early in the game, but Ionos stay relevant. So we're going to put in probably a full playset of Ionos. And again, we might bump that down to 3 or Arven's down to 3 or something like that. I'm a big fan of if you have an Arven in there, throw in 1 counter catcher because then Arven turns into a boss's orders. So, especially in a deck like this where we're going to take a couple turns to get set up, we can probably assume that it's going to be, every game's going to end up at least 5 to 6 prize cards, and counter catcher comes online pretty good, and then we can use it. Welcome in, Tin. How you doing tonight? Hopefully good. I just saw you earlier today. Okay. Any other trainers worth considering? Oh, we need some stadiums. So I used to run Path to the Peak. That is rotating, obviously. The next stadium that would be absolutely crucial for this deck, Artisan. Having Artisans in there. I don't know if we put 3 in. I think we might stick with 2. It's not strictly necessary. Once we have a Grodel set up, it's just kind of redundant at that point. It's just helpful. It's more so just to bump the opponent's stadium if they have something they want to use, like Pokestop or something that we're not going to use. So I think 2 is a good starting number here, and we'll probably keep with that and bump up other trainers instead. Better than that, took a 4-hour nap. Dude, you are going to throw off your sleep schedule entirely. I thought you were swearing off napping. Alright, I think that's probably... We could probably put in 1 boss. I have a boss currently in my list. So probably just 1 boss's orders. Give me Daddy Cyrus. That is the best boss. Come at me. And then, now, we need an Ace Spec. So for those of you that don't know, Ace Specs are this new thing that was introduced... Or, this old new thing. It's been reintroduced in this set, Temporal Forces. You can only have 1 Ace Spec of any kind in the deck at all. Very powerful cards. Very good. We only have 7. I say only. 7's a lot to have in format, but a few of them really don't make sense for this deck. They only work for like ancient or future decks kind of thing. And so the Ace Spec that I think is going to be best in this deck is going to be Hero's Cape. Prime Catcher is kind of just the best Ace Spec overall, but we like making the Torterra tanky, the Torterra EX super tanky, and so a Hero's Cape it's a tool that you attach, and it gives 100 HP to whatever it's attached to, which is dope, because it means that with Kricketune and the Cape, we can take Torterra to 330 for a single prize Pokemon, or we can take the Torterra EX to 480 HP, which is stupid. So yeah. You would be right, sir, except it felt good, and I feel like I could sleep easily again. Alright, more power to you, man. But yeah, we're gonna put in the Cape. Now, we may also include a Luxurious Cape. So Luxurious Cape, it adds 100 HP, but when that Pokemon gets knocked out, they take 1 more prize. So basically it turns the single prize Torterra into a 2 prize Torterra. So this may get cut. We'll have to see as we make our second pass on trainers here, but we're going to put it in right now for consideration. Energy! Let's get to energy so we can actually attack. Really the only special energy I think that makes sense to use in this is Reversal. We'll probably put 3 in. That's the current number I have. I think that's a good number. Especially since the Reversal's not going to work for this guy, and so it really only makes sense to have as many reversals as Torterras are going to see play, which is 3 or 4. The reversals are good because they will provide 3 energy, which is more than enough for Evo Press if we're behind. And then once we are no longer behind, they still count for the colorless in Evo Press, so then you just attach a grass for turn and you're still cooking. Which 4 cards are bugged out there? This is Bidoof and Bibarel. Crown Zenith Bidoof, Carefree Countenance, and then Industrious Incisors Bibarel. Yeah, we don't know why they bugged out. We tried reloading the page. No other cards have bugged out since then, so I guess Pokegear hates Bibarel. And then Grass Energy. I'm running 4 currently, I think. It might be worth it to go to 5. I think I've had some issues with low energy counts, so we'll put 5 in for consideration right now. Alright, we're at 63 cards. That's a little too many, believe it or not. Cards are 60, or decks are 60, so let's see what we can cut. I think... I think we might go to 3 Arvins. Well, it would be really nice to have an Arvin for Cape on demand. Let's start by taking out the Luxurious Cape. Let's just assume that the Hero's Cape is going to do what we need to do, and we don't need to double up because we're already forcing them to go through a lot of single prizers. Welcome in, Ashwood Gaming. I think Poffin and Gengar are easy cuts too. I really like Gengar for my opponent thinks that they're safe for a turn, and then I Gengar and go right back to doing 300. That's especially important if things like Arceus and Lugia, those V-Star decks, are more popular, which it seems like they might be. Because being able to hit, or one-hit KO 280 Pokemon can be really important. So I like Gengar. I think Poffin is a good choice to cut. Because when I was thinking of the inclusion of Poffin, I forgot that we also have Artisan. And so between Artisan and Nest Balls and stuff, you could probably do the same thing that Poffin's going to do. Artisan, I want 2 Artisans simply for the fact that we can bump an opponent's stadium with it. It's probably one of those things where you don't necessarily play this down unless you're bumping your opponent's stadium. But I wouldn't play it down just because it's in my hand kind of thing. The Great Ball is a thought for sure. But I do like the idea of having a bunch of items, and we can churn through the deck with the Barrel, with Ionos, and playing these items that you can get out of your hand rather than having more supporters. So I think we might go down to 3 Arvins. It's really nice to do the Evo turn 2, but it's not strictly necessary. Because this is a deck that can afford a little bit of a slower start just to set up properly. You have a ton of evolution Pokemon, not sure if Gengar is necessary anymore. Yeah, it's just for the retaliate effect of it. It's just so that you knock out my Torterra, you think you're safe, and I can only do 250 to you next turn, and then I Gengar. Welcome to Starlight Coma. Any consideration for the Beautifly package since you're playing candies anyway? Oh, we didn't include candies. That's an excellent point. Rare candy. Yeah, we forgot about candies. I think 2 candies is a move. Oh yeah, I totally skipped past it in my list right here. So that's definitely going to change some thoughts too. Beautifly is an interesting thought. I actually think I had that thought and forgot about it. Oh god, spelling is my forte. No, I just want to look at it bigger. So Beautifly is like the Barrel, but slightly better, but it is also stage 2. So the one downside to the Beautifly is that we can't TM Evo it to get going on like the next turn, which can be really nice with the Barrel. If you have a dead hand, you Arvin for Earthen Vessel, TM Evo. Earthen Vessel gets you a Grass Energy, and you TM Evo a Bidoof on the bench. You cannot do that with Beautifly. And so I think I want to steer away from it. This is, as you can see, a Lost Origin card, and so it's been around for a little bit, and I haven't been using it in the deck because of that, and I don't think that changes too much. I think it is a good thought, but I think it probably is just slightly too clunky. If it was a stage 1, absolutely. So we'll probably cut that guy. I do like the thought though. And who knows, maybe that is the way to do it. Maybe, you know, we test the other one, or test that way and see how it works. Neo Upper would be sick here, so you can be proactive too. I thought about Neo Upper. The thing about Neo Upper is that this guy really doesn't need it. He only needs the singular Grass Energy. This guy would be great to have, but I kind of figure a lot of the time when you're trying to do like quick, you'll do reversal, and then when reversal is no longer active, you'll do just a manual grass energy. We don't have a way to consistently find the Neo Upper. Unlike item cards or tool cards, you cannot find a special energy card consistently with supporters or anything right now. And so you'd be just as lucky hitting the Neo Upper as you would be hitting the reversal. Oh my goodness, you guys are cooking and I love it. Tom, by the way, yep, I saw you there. Hope daylight savings hasn't messed you up too much. I was okay with daylight savings, but also my entire sleep schedule is messed up this weekend because of midnight pre-releases. Ashwin, I hate that joke. Ashwin, I hate that joke. John Cena walked on stage fully naked, but you couldn't see him. I hate that. My thought with the Beautifly was since you could search it out with Grotle, you just Evo TM it a double Grotle and search out the Beautifly with that. Yes. I think pulling, getting the draw, getting out of a dead hand, is more helpful. So, again, that's something that I think that we can play test as we start to play it. Hi, cuties. Hi, Rotom. How you doing? Daylight savings wrecked me today. He was actually naked, though. I can't tell if you're trolling or not. I'm gonna have to look this up after the stream. Feel like you're coming down with a cold after leaving pre-release today? Oof. Yeah. Gross. Okay, so we forgot about the rare candies, which is actually really important for kind of bounce back in the later game too, because you can Super Rod, Turtwig back, and then rare candy right to a Torterra rather than have to take a turn for the Grotle if things aren't going well. And so yeah, we want 2 rare candies in this list. Let's move them to a sensible place. I just looked, he deadass was. You guys are gaslighting me hard, or this is actually wild. Is the Oscars on network television, or is it like streamed on Netflix or something where they can get away with that? Nope, live TV. Huh. Well, I guess, you know, if you do it properly, and he probably had on like a dancer's belt or something, then there's no harm. Anyway, I'm thinking we need to cut 2 more cards. I'm thinking we probably cut some ball search. We probably cut Ultra Ball and maybe a Great Ball. Not cut entirely, but just like drop the number down by 1. There's part of me that thinks about going to 1 TM Evo, but again, that really sucks if one of them's prized. So I think, yeah, probably down to 1 Great Ball, unless the people have other ideas. I don't necessarily want to cut a Grotle, even though, you know, we could skip past it with a rare candy, just because its ability is so good. Evolution kind of gets funky if we only have 3 of those and we're relying on rare candies, because we just need to stream that attacker the entire time. So I feel like that's probably the way I would do it. What is that 2-2 Bib? Exactly, yeah. For whatever reason, Pokegear just decided to eat the Bidoof and Bibarel. So it's Crown Zenith Bidoof and Industrious Incisors Bibarel. I don't really know why it did that, but yeah. I'm still -1 on the Gengar, but I understand why you have it. Yeah, it's definitely also a consideration. It's just, it's come in clutch for me when I've been playing the deck currently. So that's, I think, probably a testing and a preference type thing. If we find that we're not setting up properly enough and we need more Ultra Balls and Great Balls, then I think that would be probably a good cut. You can play Erazu in here. I don't know if Erazu would super help, because all we need is 1 Grotle, and then Grotle is its own Erazu. And so I'd rather just have Iono or Arven guarantee Grotle, or, you know, disrupt my opponent and high chances of hitting Grotle, and then just start chaining those together. Because we're not, with the exception of Gengar, we're not looking for anything that's not grass type. Or I guess the exception of Gengar and Bibarel. We're not looking for anything that isn't grass type. And you could just grab those with like Ultra Ball off of an Arven or something. 4 Arven, 3 Iono. I'm almost wondering that too. I guess it kind of it depends on how lucky we feel like. But maybe with the game slowing down a little bit, no VIP pass and stuff, 4 Arven and 3 Iono would be good. One problem I'm potentially seeing from just looking at this is the lack of discard cards to fuel the barrel. Yes, that can be a problem where you end up kind of with a stuck hand. I mean, it was nice before when we had level ball, because you could fail a level ball. You can't fail a nest ball anymore. But I think you need the nest balls. We could go to no great balls and 3 ultra balls instead. I think that was also kind of the idea behind 4 Iono, is that if you end up with a handful of dead cards, then you could Iono, so you could actually start getting the barrel drawing again. You can't... It's not that you can't fail Nest Ball, it's that I couldn't play Nest Ball if my bench was full. Which you could play Nest Ball if your bench... Or you could play Level Ball if your bench was full. 3 Ultra more than 2-1. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that more. I like the idea of Great Ball, but there's just too many other parts of this deck. And actually, thinking about the barrel, I think that's probably why I was thinking 4 Iono, 3 Arven. Because you could certainly play Arven and fail it, but that doesn't help you get other things out of your hand. Whereas Iono, say your hand's full of just, like, Torterras and stuff that you're not currently playing, Iono, I'm getting them all out of there. Does Torterra say Evolve Pokemon or Evolution Pokemon? It is Evolution Pokemon, so Gengar does count for that. So the Gengar is specifically in there. I think we might have been talking about this before you popped in, Rotom. The Gengar is specifically in there for if you knock out the active Torterra, and then you think that you're safe because I can only do 250 the next turn before I start getting something evolved. You bring Gengar back straight from the discard pile and do 300 immediately the next turn. Which I think with Arceus, Lugia, Giratina all being, like, probably pretty prevalent in the meta, is a good play. And yeah, you could throw away the Gengar with Ultra Ball or with Earthen Vessel. And so it's not, like, guaranteed, but there's definitely ways to combo it. Alright, I'm thinking I like this list. I'm thinking it's looking good. Unless anybody has anybody has any other suggestions, I think we'll probably just pack this one up and head on to the next one. By the way, if people have suggestions or decks they want to see, I do have a bunch of things that I want to build, but there are probably also things that you might want to see my ideas on. So feel free to request some stuff in the chat. The one exception, I don't know Lost Box and Lost decks in general well enough to build any kind of variant of those. So don't ask for, like, Lost Tina or Sable's Art or stuff. I don't know that enough to do it. I haven't really played it too much. But yeah, let's get this guy exported. We'll export it as an image. I think, yeah, the barrels are going to fail. Did that export it as an image? It's just kind of sitting there. I don't know what that means. I haven't used Pokegear enough. No, don't. By date added, it did not, in fact, save it. Give it a crack with Future Box. Sounds good. I can definitely put together my ideas of Future and Lost Box. That did not save it in the slightest. Okay. Pokegear is pretty annoying to work with. Yeah, I'm finding that. But do you have a suggestion for something better, Rotom? I'd gladly take something better. How do I just get rid of this? Deck copy to clipboard. Okay, I'll just post this in, like, a text file or something. I do want to get, like, these posted to my Discord later, but it might take a second after stream. I might not be able to do it immediately. Alright, if we do this... What is this button? Delete, save deck, delete deck. Okay, so we're going to delete the deck. This is still on here. Okay. Point taken. We reload the page. That's how we get that done. Okay. So, Future Box. Let's take a crack at that. Yeah. Full disclosure, some of these newer variants where I don't know all of the cards, I'm going to be kind of partially using Justin Basil's suggested list, although I've looked through these and I don't agree with some of the cards. So we're going to kind of use it as a starting point and then change according to my own personal preference and thoughts and so on and so forth. But just full disclosure on that, I'm not, you know, the best, the most incredible genius. But Future Box, this is going to require pretty much all new cards, so unfortunately we're going to have to get some of those Japanese ones in here. But as I understand it, Future Box, you use this nice little Miraidon here. That first attack does 40 damage, and you go search your deck for 2 energy cards and attach them to your future Pokemon however you would like. And so that will be kind of your way to charge up with just a bunch of other options. So I think probably 3, maybe 4 of these. We'll put 3 in for now and see. I do not have a great replacement yet. Awesome. I mean, that's pretty much what I expected. Alright, so we'll put in 3 of these. Another piece that is very crucial for the another piece that's very crucial for the deck is the Iron Crown. Where is he? There he is. So the Iron Crown has an ability where your future Pokemon, except itself, basically do 20 more damage, and that can stack. So you'd want to have a few Iron Crowns down. The exact number, I'm not quite sure. We'll have to look at what everybody else is doing damage-wise and figure that out. But let's start with putting 3 of those guys in, because I figure probably want 2 set up, I think a lot of times is what the number I've heard tossed around. And then you have the extra for spare if something's prized or whatever. Iron Hands. Amp you very much. Let's go grab that guy, because he's going to be good for this deck. Amp you very much. Take an extra prize if somebody's knocked out by that. So that does 120, but with the Iron Crown, we can get that doing 140, 160, 180, right? And so let's think about Iron Hands as a 2. We might end up making that actually a 1, because that's good against some decks, kind of useless against others. So we'll see. Iron Leaves we certainly want. So Iron Leaves is a nice toss-in for Charizard, or I guess Moon 2, because of the weaknesses. This ability basically says when you play him down, when you switch him to the active spot, you can just suck energy off of all the other Pokemon in play and put it onto the Iron Leaves. So you can set up Pokemon with Miraidon, and then out of nowhere come in with the Iron Leaves and take a KO. Iron Hands being $14 a pop again is wild. Has it gone back up because people are hyped on Future Box? Damn. Alright, so we're going to put 2 of these in. Again, that might be a starting point. We might change that. But, yeah. There is 2 Iron Valiants that are worth looking at. One of them is the Iron Valiant EX that we already had. I love that it's breaking. Please, into the deck. Okay. This guy does 200 damage, not so great of a number, except with the Iron Crown, you can bump that up to 220 or 240, and so that's pretty good. Can't attack next turn is a little annoying, but there's ways around that. You just kind of switch it around. Miraidon knows all about that, so not too bad. Full arts are bought out. They're $30 a pop right now. Jeez. Yeah, thank goodness you got an Iron Hands earlier, Tim. So yeah, there's this one. However, we do have a new one, a single prize one. Where is it? Where is it? This one right here. So this one, that second attack, if you played a future supporter card this turn, it does 100 plus 100 more damage. So it's doing 200 damage as well, for the same energy cost, but it is a single prizer. We have to see how many future supporters we end up putting in this deck, and if that makes sense or not. So we'll put it in now as a consideration, and that will probably be a first cut if we find that we don't have a whole lot of future supporters. Time to dump. Yep. Get rid of those Iron Hands now. Something I don't know, actually. This Miraidon EX is another future one. So the previous Miraidons we have are not future. But this one is, so you can attach to it with the baby Miraidon. It does 220, and I think this is 60, and if you played a future supporter, it's 160. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. I can look at the translation if I am. Why are his grippers out? Look at those toes, you guys. I don't know if this is worth considering or not. 220 is nice, but we can hit 220 with other things. I guess the advantage to this is you could do 260 with that and 2 Iron Crown in play for Goldango. And we don't really have like a fire-type future Pokemon. And so that might be a consideration for one of. I think that really is a meta-dependent call, and one that we are not going to know until we see how the meta shakes out. Because if Goldango's running amok, then I can definitely see purpose for that Miraidon EX. So let's keep it in there for now. And we will see if it makes sense to cut or not later. Any other future Pokemon I'm looking for? Here's the great thing about future Pokemon. They're all called Iron, so I can just search Iron in Standard, and I'll get all of them, except the app is bugging out, so we don't know what any of these are. Good. Good, Pokegear. Good job. The heck is this? Oh, Paldean Fates Iron Shreds EX? No. No. Iron Bundle and new treads are decent. Iron Bundle is actually not a bad idea for the Hyper Blower. We could throw in that as a consideration for its ability. And we know that we're going to be playing Techno Radar in this deck. So the Techno Radars will help us find Iron Bundle on demand. So that's a pretty good thought for a repel option. The new treads, I don't think is that decent. Let me double check to make sure I know what it does. Yeah, so if it's got a future booster attached to it, it is both fighting and metal type. Okay. And then its attack does 60 damage, and I think that there's something else to it, but I don't remember what it is. I should pull up the thing in this, the card translations. Metal... Iron Treads. Oh yeah, it's 60 damage, and it moves an energy from itself to one of your bench Pokemon. So it helps you keep energy in play, but I don't know if it's really worth doing. Mainly for the Oko on opposing hands. Oh, you're not talking about Treads. You're talking about Iron Boulder. Because that Treads Iron Treads would have to have a bunch of Iron Crowns and the booster capsule attached to it and play it to one-hit KO. No, you meant Treads? Yeah, I mean, it would need the booster, and it would need 2 Iron Crowns. And we would have to include Metal Energy in this deck, which nobody else uses Metal Energy. So, I don't know if it's worth it. Again, I think that's probably a meta call. We could try splashing it in. I think, again, that's another one that might be a good first cut, if it doesn't seem like it makes sense. You want crowns on the bench with metal is fair for sure. The thing is, it needs 2 crowns and the booster capsule, which is a lot to ask if your opponent's hunting the crowns or something. Yeah, the Baja Blast is my drink of choice for tonight. So we'll put it in as a consideration for now. But that might be kind of one of the first ones to cut if we don't. So yeah. Anyways, let's go get some trainers. Techno Radar is a 4 of in this deck. That is your Nest Ball, but better in this deck. So So yeah, we're gonna do the Techno Radar. We are absolutely gonna have Future Booster. I think that's probably a 4-up too. Um, what is our draw on this deck? Is it just like Research and Iono and like those kind of ones? Probably, right? That's how you spell Research. I can spell. Let's get good old Rowan here. And Iono. That one's bugged, so let's use this one. Alright. Pretty sure, yeah. Yeah, so we'll put 4-ups in there for now. That might change. Probably want a couple bosses. Any other supporters that make sense? In terms of future supporters, we don't have a lot. We've got Turo, which really does not make sense. We've got, now, what is it officially called? Cypher Maniacs Decoding, or whatever it's called. And so, we could think about putting that in. Let's see if I can find it and just throw it in for now. And purely putting that in because it would help with, whatchamacallit, that Iron Valiant that needs a future supporter played. But we also don't have a draw engine in this, and so I don't know if it's necessarily the best. Did we really not get a second future supporter? Sag. Arvin, find a Techno Radar and a booster. Arvin's pretty good, although what's our stadium going to be? Because if our stadium's going to be Town Store, we don't necessarily need Arvin. Do we go Town Store or do we go Beach Courts? Oh wait, we don't do Beach Court because future boosters give free retreat. So I think Town Store is probably our stadium for this deck. And if that's the case, I don't know that we necessarily need Arvin. You're not seeing them run stadiums, period. I like stadiums simply for bumping my opponent's stadium. If my opponent is playing Chien-Pao and they really love that Pokestop in play, I want to get rid of it. So we could probably cut this to 2 if we think that, you know, that would be appropriate. Or we could maybe swap him out for vacuums if we're going to go an Arvin route. But I do want the ability to get rid of an opponent's stadium, even if we're not necessarily benefiting from any stadium in this list. Just the sheer disruption. One store, one vacuum. Yeah, let's try that actually. Let's do one store. Let's do a vacuum, and let's do a few Arvins. Wait, no, wrong art. Give me the cartoony one. Let's try maybe 2 Arvins. I'm thinking Cryptomaniac's gonna, or Cypher Maniac's gonna go, because we just don't have a way to draw cards after we Cypher Maniac. So we're probably going to cut that, and that means we're going to cut this Valiant because we don't have a future supporter to play. Which is sad, but okay. I did not mean to put 2 of this Valiant in. It should only be 1. That's really just a 1-of for its ability / its ability to attack for 200. I don't particularly see Psychic Weakness being super helpful in the meta right now. But this can just be kind of fun. If we are going to use its Tachyon Bit's ability to kind of fix some math or do some bench damage or something, let's throw in a couple switch carts. Oh my god, if I could type, that would be incredible. Oh, switch cart's bugged. Good. I can't. There's no other alternate art of this. Let's put in maybe 2. We'll go with for now. We don't need the switch carts for retreating because future booster. But we do need the switch cart for retreating into Valiant and then switch carting it out to what we're actually attacking with. And so maybe we do 3, just so we have enough that we could do 60 to the bench over the course of a couple turns. Also, chat, how are we feeling about Armor Rouge? Like Fire Off Armor Rouge Arceus kind of thing? Maybe. I think that really depends on if Goldango just dominates the meta. So we'll have to see. Um, all right, our lovely invisible switch carts here. Oh, I think a couple Pokegears would be good. Gage brought that up a little bit ago. I don't necessarily know that we do a fish, because we really need the bench space for Iron Crowns and for attackers and stuff. Oh, it's not going to find Pokegear because there's an accent over it, right? Let's just do gear. There we go. Let's do maybe 2. I think actually this is kind of going to depend on if we go heavy Arven or heavy just like Iona research draw. How many we put in there. So let's go with 2 for now, and we'll see about changing that up later. Anything else? I guess if we're playing enough 1-ups, let's get a heavy ball in there. I usually think of heavy balls and 1-ups in terms of Radiance, but okay, cool. I saw it for a moment, Pokegear. And so yeah, we'll see about that. So yeah, we'll do one of those to just get like, you know, Iron Valiant or the EX or something out of there if it's stuck, or another Iron Crown if it's stuck. So yeah. Speaking of Radiance, do we necessarily want to Radiant this deck? I mean, the most obvious choice is Radiant Greninja. Do we do a Rad Ninja? If we do a Rad Ninja, we would have to put in some, like, Nest Balls or something, rather than purely relying on Techno Radar. Because that would be the only non-future Pokemon in this deck. And so, that is kind of a thought. I have to double check. So Reboot Pod is from the discard pile, right? It's not from the deck or anything. It's from the discard. Touch a basic energy from your discard pile to each of your future Pokemon in play. Right. By the way, that is absolutely our ace spec for this deck is Reboot Pod. So having discarded energy with Greninja is not necessarily a bad thing. But would we find Greninja consistently enough without having to make the deck too clunky? That is an excellent question. Armor Rouge won a City League today, so that's mainly what piqued my curiosity. I mean, yeah, we could certainly think about throwing together an Armor Rouge. Let me throw it on my list. Just to double check, you're talking about Armor Rouge, the Fire Off Armor Rouge, and Arceus, and, like, Delphox V and stuff like that. Not Armor Rouge EX, right? Or are you talking about Armor Rouge EX? Ye, well, it also runs the EX. Oh, I guess probably putting a 1-up EX in there makes sense, yeah. But it's not built around the EX only, right? It is, yeah, it's that firebox kind of idea. Yep. Called a tinderbox. Come on, that's way better. Yeah, anyway, what was I saying? We're doing something? If we're gonna have Arvins in here, let's put a counter catcher in. I voiced my, my admiration for that technique, before. Let's put him one counter catcher. Anything else we should do? Maybe a Super Rod? Just so that if, like, you need to recycle the Valiant or the hands or something, and we can probably cut down on the hands and the Valiant and stuff if we need to. Because of that, so maybe a Rod's a pretty good choice here. Anything else? Again, full disclosure, looking at the Justin Basil list. He's got something pretty similar to what we have, which makes sense. It's kind of, you know, the idea is floating around. He has EXP shares. I don't know if I agree with that, just because the Future Booster is just a better tool. I mean, keeping the energy in play is nice, but also you have to assume that the idea is that just use Miraidon forehead. So maybe not. Maybe 1. Let's put 1 in. And then energy breakdown wise, let's do a couple grass for Verizon Wireless over there. Oh good, they're breaking. Alright, we're using the fancy ones then, I guess. We'll do 3, again, just in case one's prize. That would be sad. When you lightning and psychic, I feel like more lightning than psychic. Maybe even numbers. Probably more lightning than psychic. Let's do like 4 or 5, maybe? Four of this. Either that or we'll do 4 and 3. What does that total energy count? 12? That's not bad. 12's pretty good. Oh, we still have room to play with here. What are we like, missing? I mean, we can go back up to 2 town stores. Any other suggestions or ideas of what to put into here? Oh, shoot, we need a metal energy for Doofy Face over here, don't we? Or probably 2, honestly. Because, again, just prizing could really screw you over there if you're looking for it. Let's put 2 of those in there. Let's cut these by 1 in response to that. Yeah, any other suggestions? We've got a couple cards to play with here. I mean, it says 59. We have 1 card to add, but we can also go back down to 1 town store and so on and so forth. Just a reminder, these are switch carts. Oh, it shows up there. Okay. And this is heavy ball. Anything else Mr. Basil recommends? Not particularly. Supporter-wise, is there, like, do we want to put in something new, like an Airy or something? Just, get rid of cards in our opponent's hand? I don't know if that super makes sense in this deck, especially when we need to draw a bunch. And Airy doesn't help us draw. You know what does, though? Clive. I don't think that's a good move for this, though. But get your Clives ready for control. I'm definitely going to see that in control, I think. What to add? What to add? Maybe we do go with the Radiant Greninja. Although, again, if we don't have a consistent way of getting it out early, these energy are going to be taken by people. We're not going to necessarily draw into them. Maybe a 4th Baby Dawn, so you're more likely to start it. That's a pretty good idea. I think I could definitely see that being the move here. Just more likely to start it, or less of them prized. I like that idea, Gage. Hi, I'm Clive. Yeah, let's go with that for the deck. I like this. Okay. So we are going to copy that to the clipboard. Again, I'm going to post these in my Discord afterwards, but with the app breaking and stuff, I don't know that that's necessarily going to be quick or easy. I'm going to have to like get a nice picture of each of these. So yeah. But yeah, I think that's probably my attempt at a future box. Whether that's going to be the future box that people are going to play and take to regionals and stuff, we will have to see how it shakes out. I am no expert in this by any means. So yeah. Okay. Let's move it on. Let's go to another deck. Any recommendations or requests? Wait, why are you what? Hello? Okay. Sure. Piplup. Unfortunately, there is no Piplup deck in format right now. A good Piplup deck. We don't have a great Empoleon. I can see them giving us a good Empoleon because we're getting a pretty cool Infernape in the next set, but we'll have to see. Let's on the topic of starter decks, let's do Meowscarada. Meowscarada's a deck that my partner's gonna want to play. So let's build that up for after rotation. So let's find the ideal Sprigatito. Is it 70 HP from that guy? That's pretty good. But I do like the idea of the Gather Sunlight one. Let's go for the Gather Sunlight one. We might change it. We might do a mix of Sprigatitos. We'll have to see. And then it's going to be a... I totally forgot the middle evolution for a second. Florigato, we're going to put one of in. Oh, right, I have to get us back to standard. to do that every time that I reload the page. Basically, after every time we change decks. Obviously, not that there's Florigatos not in Standard, because it's a new Pokemon, but so that we don't get those other ones. No, don't be cringe! Don't be cringe! Don't be cringe! If I don't filter it by Standard, do you think it'll work better? Oh, it's so cringe. Try reloading one more time, because we're not super far into this deck. Yeah, no, gross. Okay. Yeah, we don't want that one necessarily. I was trying to view them. I think we want this one because we're going to be playing DTEs. So, yeah. Let's put... Oh my god, it's just entirely broken now. Oh, Pokegear, why are you being so cringe? Alright, everybody just remember that's Florigato. How they evolved Florigato specifically. And now Meowscarada. So Meowscarada is the main attacker of this deck. For those of you that don't know, you use Scratching Nails to do 200 damage. Well, 220 if you have energy, but 200 if you're using a double turbo. And you're using Bouquet Magic to ping your opponent's bench and then move those decks around. Or move that damage around with Alakazam, as we're about to see. So we're going to do 3 Meowscarada. We're going to get Alakazam in here. No, let's filter. There's been a lot of Alakazams over the years, believe it or not. Radiant Alakazam. Why is everything related to TCG broken as shit? Dude, beats me. Oh, the Sprigatito disappeared. Cool. What else do we want in this deck? We want, we're going to build this kind of like how Charizard's running right now. So we're going to have a Rotom V, and we're going to have that kind of package. So give him a Rotom V, give him a Lumineon, Fish. We are going to have Manaphy, for sure. Jirachi, maybe. We'll have to see. Rotom TCG, it's your dude. It is the man's. It's the man's himself. I'm so excited to start learning to play this deck. Yeah, I'm really excited to start teaching you it. I don't know that we necessarily need Jirachi. The biggest concern with Manaphy is that early game they just take out like a Meowscarada, and as you see, we're going to do the Pidgeot idea here. So that's the biggest concern. I don't know that we need a Manaphy because of that, so we'll have to see. But yeah, let's get the Pidgeot EX kind of package in there too. This deck is going to be really susceptible to Devo, and I don't really know that there's a way around it. I think Charizard can kind of play the Bibarel or the Pidgeot, depending on what the meta shakes out to be. I don't know that Meowscarada has that luxury. Just because you need to be able to get the exact right card, like double turbo energies and stuff. You can't just kind of like hope that the barrel's going to draw it for you. Whereas Charizard, because it's its own energy acceleration, you can kind of get away with just drawing whatever you get off of the barrel, and as long as it's enough to get Zard out, then he's fine. You and Kate can play against each other. She wants to play Ancient Box. Ooh, fun. Can't wait for my tattoo artist to get back to me about a Sprigatito tattoo. Ooh. Yeah, I'm super excited to see what your tattoo artist comes back with. Any other Pokemon worth putting in here? I don't know that there necessarily is. Let's throw the Jirachi in as a consideration, and we'll maybe take it out if we don't need it. Okay. Yeah, I don't necessarily think that there's any new ones that are worth considering. Well, you know what? Maybe. Maybe we put in one of the new Shaman that does 60 bench snipe to an EX or a V. So that if you have somebody who tries to retreat and stay alive, you can hit it nicely. Let me go find that Shaman. Where is he at? There he is. Good old Shaman Skyform. So this first attack for 1 grass energy, 60 to a benched EX or V. So if your opponent tries to retreat somebody and save him, you could do that. That's a hard maybe, because 2 Meowscarada's abilities also do the same thing. And so that's probably a good first cut candidate if we don't need it. Rip the Metacham to cheat another turn. This deck wasn't actually doing the Metacham anyway, just because it's too many moving pieces. It would be fun, but it's like, it's too much. I don't really know if there's anything else worth considering in this deck. So yeah, we'll probably stick with that, or Pokemon-wise, worth considering in this deck. So we'll probably stick with that. Alright, so we're doing the Rotom Lumineon idea with like that Charizard kind of idea. So we're doing 4 Arvens, 4 rare candies, Forest Seal, probably 2 Forest Seal Stones. Although maybe 1. We'll come back to this. We'll circle back to this. But yeah. And then you would play VIP right now. Rather than VIP, this deck is going to run the Buddy Buddy Poppin'. Because that allows you to get your Pidgeys. That allows you to get your Sprigatitos. Get you Manaphy if you need it. It does not, however, get you Rotom and Lumineon, so we are going to have to put in a Nest Ball or 2. Or do we put in Ultra Balls, and just, if you need those, you use Ultra Ball? Let's put in 1 Nest for the eventuality that you don't have enough to sacrifice in your hand for Ultra Ball. But this deck's going to get 3 or 4 Ultra Balls, just so you can find Meowscarada easier, so you can find Pidgeot EX easier. We might bump this down to 3, we'll circle back around to that. Stadium-wise, this is another deck that Artisan makes perfect sense for. These are broken, so we're building it out with a gold Artisan. Again, with the Buddy Buddy Poppin', you don't super need it, but bumping your opponent's Stadium can sometimes just be better than having it. So let's go with the Artisan. Other supporters. Let's get a couple Ionos in there, a couple bosses, the standard kind of stuff. So let's do maybe 3 Ionos to start with, 2 bosses. Oh good, we are just like quickly losing cards in this app. Let's get a couple Super Rods in there, so that we can recycle Meowscarada should they go down. None of the Super Rods are showing up. You'll love to see it. Not super effective glasses, please. Super Rod. Right, okay, yeah. We'll do 2 Super Rods. Let's get a couple Earthen Vessels in there, so that we can go get Grass Energies on demand. And to that point, let's get an Energy Retrieval back. Or an Energy Retrieval so you can get the grasses back after you use Meowscarada's ability. Maybe 2? Maybe 1 and 1 Superior Energy Retrieval might actually be the way to do it. We'll have to see about that. Maybe it's not the move, maybe it is. Probably not Superior Energy Retrieval. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, the odds that you need 4 energy in hand as opposed to just 2 is probably pretty good. So yeah, probably not. You're right, Gage. Especially if we're going to go Super Rods, because then the Super Rods can get some back in deck, the Retrieval can get the ones in hand. That's probably the combo that's worth doing better. Oh, we have a Radiant, so let's get a Heavy Ball, because that really sucks when the Radiant Alakazam's stuck. So Hisuian Heavy Ball. What else? Couple switch cards are always good. Oh, we need actual switches with this because we can't use a switch card. Bro, what is happening to this app? Alright, gold switches it is. Let's get 2 of those in there. Pidgeot has free retreat, but things like Rotom or Radiant Alakazam especially, people can boss stall with us very easily with that too. So let's do that. Let's get a Collapsed Stadium in there, actually. Because if we have Rotom or Lumineon and that liability, Collapsed Stadium can be nice to get rid of it. If we have Arvins, let's put a counter catcher in. I've talked about my like for that combination. From one counter catcher. Anything else trainer-wise? We're gonna need an ace spec here in a moment, which we'll pick. Yeah, anything else worth going for trainer-wise? Let me look at my current list and see if there's anything. Oh, I do like a singular Devo TM. This is really spicy. Is this it? Of course, it's the one that's not showing up. This is really spicy against things like Arceus or Charizard or stuff. Because you can kind of do 200, 220 with Meowscarada, or you can ping the bench for like 60 or something like that, and then Devo them out of nowhere, especially if they pull up somebody like Manaphy or something wrong. Or if you don't have a Meowscarada set up and you just have a Manaphy that you can throw an energy on, throw the Devo on, and then bada bing, bada boom, Bon Jovi. So I really like that as a nice little one-up tech card. Anything else worth going for? I don't think so. Looking at my current list here. Actually, we'll do one research, because if you kind of have nothing in hand, you just go and Pidgeot quick search for research and just get yourself a new hand. So we'll do one research. That might be a cut when we go back and circle back for cutting down the deck. Any other new items that we want to do, or not necessarily items, any other new trainers that we want to do besides obviously our ace spec that we're going to pick here in a second? I don't think so. So ace spec, I think Prime Catcher is just the obvious choice here, unless you guys have any other thoughts. But obviously the Ancient and the Future ones don't make sense, so then we're kind of, the other thoughts would be Neo Upper Energy, which double turbo energy will do pretty much the same job for Meowscarada because it's only 2 colorless. Yes, it drops the damage by 20, but the odds that we can't just fix that with Alakazam are pretty low. The Cape could be nice, take Meowscarada to 410, but I think the Prime Catcher of the Switch and Boss combination is just too good to beat a lot of the time. Again, Max Belt, we don't necessarily need to do that because we can fix math with Alakazam and Bouquet Magic. So I think that's going to be our ace spec for the deck. And then Energy. We were just talking about it. We need double turbo. 4 of instantly. And then we need Grass Energy, both the power of Bouquet Magic and potentially attached for attacks and stuff like that. I think 6 is probably a good number. So yeah, we are over by a couple cards, believe it or not. But that is to be expected. Let's go back and start cutting some of those ones that we knew were going to be first cuts. So we'll take down to 1 Forest Sealstone. If that's prize, oh well, so be it. What is this card? What is this card? Astral Radiance. What is this card? Oh, is this Heavy Ball? I think I might be Heavy Ball. Yeah, we don't cut the Heavy Ball. This is a Paldea Evolved card? What is this, chat? What is that? That's not... No. There's Artisan up there. What Paldea Evolved card is in here? Oh, Super Rods. Super Rods, that's what that is. Yeah, we need a couple Super Rods for sure. Okay. So those aren't changing. The 4-1-3 line of our attackers is not changing. Let's cut the Jirachi. Like I said, I don't think there's a super good place for that. Let's probably cut the Shaman too. As nice as the 60 bench is, we can just do that with 2 Bouquet Magics, and so we don't necessarily need to use our entire attack for the turn to do that. Let's see. If we're going to do Collapsed and Artisan, we could probably go down to 1 Artisan. We don't have to worry about having to bump Path to the Peak anymore. And so again, it's kind of the thing where Artisan's nice, Collapsed is nice, but really these just exist to get rid of our opponent's stadium if they are using something that's really disadvantageous. I mean, the one that comes to mind is Pokestop, but, you know, maybe a Lost City or something too is also something that we need to get bumped. What else can we cut? We could probably go down to 1 Earthen Vessel. It's nice to grab with Arven. But if there's a Pidgeot setup and you need a grass energy, you can always just quick search for a grass energy, as silly as that is. Let's similarly go down to 1 retrieval. So we'll do that. What else? Maybe we cut that 1 of research. It's nice but not necessary kind of thing. Or maybe we cut 1 of the switches, because Prime Catcher is also a switch, essentially, right? And then the 1 of research too, and that gets us to 60? That might be the list right there. Unless people have other thoughts or suggestions. But I'm thinking that's a pretty good looking list to me, at least. Unless there's something else worth grabbing. Can't think of any, honestly. Yeah, I'm liking this. Let's call this the list. And of course, obviously playtesting will change it, but let's call this the list for now. So let's get that on the clipboard. Because the image export is weird and also would be very screwed up right now with all of these missing. And yeah, let's call that the Grass Cat, Weed Cat, Los Gatos Locos. Weed Cat deck completed. All right, let's go on to the next one. Any requests? Anything that people want to see? If not, I have an idea for one that I want to put together. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, there we are. All right, let's reload the page so that we hopefully try to fix some of the breaking. All right, let's build Revavroom. The car. So the car really did not like Path to the Peak. Path to the Peak is going away. You know what the car also did not like? Any kind of good metal acceleration. You know what we're getting? Good metal acceleration. So the car goes burr. Car is great. Car does 170 damage. Car's attack takes 30 less damage. Car also has an ability where it can have 4 tools attached to it. Those tools can make it take less damage, so you build a tank instead of a car. So yeah, let's put 3 Revavrooms in. Varoom. Let's get some Varooms. What is the ideal Varoom to use? Is it the poison gas one? I don't think it's Hammer-In. Spinning Draw is a consideration. Spinning Draw also has this beautiful art. Rev? Is it Rev? Or is it Spinning Draw? I like Spinning Draw most, not for the art. I think so too. Because the only time that you would be attacking with this, honestly, is when you're setting up. So the Rev, it's not like a late game thing. So I think Spinning Draw is probably the move here. You want the energy in deck from a Tang. That is also a good point. Okay. So yeah, we're going to go with the Spinning Draw. Revavroom. We got the EXs, but we want to get the... Cool, they disappeared! I love Pokegear! We want to get this one. This is our draw engine for the deck. Pun intended. So you discard an energy from your hand and draw until you have 6 cards in your hand. So it's kind of similar to like Bibarel or something like that, but obviously convergent or divergent evolution there. So you don't have to have a different evolution line. We can just put probably 2 of those in there and be set. Okay, and now we get to the metal acceleration. So the new Metang came out, and that is this lad right here. His ability reads, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, once per turn. Per Metang, though, so you can do this with multiple Metangs. Look at the top 4 of your deck, any metal energy, put them on your Pokemon however you want. Other cards go to the bottom of your deck. So if you chain Metangs, they also have the guarantee of not hitting the same dead cards that they just hit, which is really nice. And so he is going to be the energy acceleration for the deck. Probably do 3 of him. I think you probably only set up 2 at a time, but 3 just so that stuff isn't prized. The Beldum, the new Beldum that came out is just pretty mid. It's just a regular-ass Beldum. But the other Beldum that we have, this one, Magnetic Lick, search your deck for a card, shuffle your deck, and put that card on top of it. So, again, in the setup phase, if this guy's stuck in the active, you can at least put a Mental Energy on, search your deck for a supporter for next turn kind of thing. And so he is going to be the Beldum of choice. Let's get those guys in a sensible order. What else do we want? I think this is a deck that can benefit from a Squawkabilly for a dead hand. So I think a 1-of Squawkabilly EX would be good. So let's put that in. If your hand is just entirely dead to start with, you just Nest Ball for that guy. Although, we have to see. If we end up going with Buddy Poffins, that might not actually be the move. So, potential cut right there. We will have to see. Let's go get Snorlax. The 151 Snorlax has an ability that's going to let us get leftovers back from the discard pile. We are going to be playing leftovers in this deck. Because leftovers helps you heal every turn. It just turns it into more of a tank. So we'll probably do 2 Snorlax. Again, just to make sure that one isn't prized, or when one gets knocked out, we can do the other one. I think a Radiant for this deck that's going to be good. Radiant Serena. You heal every turn with Radiant Serena. So let's go get her. Anybody else that we want for this deck? I don't necessarily think... Maybe Manaphy, just in case our opponent's threatening a Greninja early. We can put a Manaphy in. But that is another maybe that we might end up cutting. Yeah. What else? Okay. Let's get to trainers then. So this is a deck that's going to benefit from 4 Buddy Poffins. So let's get those in there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This deck will also benefit from some Ultra Balls. So go find the Pokemon that we actually want to find, especially our Draw Engine Revavroom. So let's go get a couple Ultra Balls. Where's the ideal art? Oh, it's one of these ones. I need to do standard again. Okay. Four Ultra Balls is definitely going to be the move here. Tools. This entire deck revolves around tools. So, first of all, our stadium of choice is going to be Town Store. Or, wait, no. Our stadium of choice isn't Town Store. I am a fool. We have the lab now. The lab makes metal types take 30 less damage, so more tank. So we'll put 3 of those in, and we will get our tools instead with a package of 4 Arvins, I think. All of the Arvins are invisible. You love to see it. No, go. Yeah. What are our tools? Well, Rigid Band, for sure. That is not how you spell rigid, Zach. Rigid Band, Stage 1 Pokemon, take 30 less damage from attacks. Revavroom is a Stage 1 Pokemon. So, probably 4, maybe 3, but I don't know. What is Revavroom's retreat, by the way? Oh, it has a 1 retreat? I guess fast in the games, that makes sense. As we mentioned, we have Snorlaxes in there, so let's go get some leftovers. Leftovers, at the end of your turn, heal 20 damage, so just a little bit more heal. Why not, right? We've got the stuff in there. Maybe a Defiance Vest or 2? Defiance Vest, you take 40 less damage if you're behind on prizes. So I could see this being maybe like a 2 of. And then, yeah, I don't know that we necessarily need anything else, tool-wise. Because we're just trying to build a tank. So those are our tank tools. Yeah. Okay. We kind of started the supporter package and then didn't get back to it. So let's put Ionos in. Oh my god. Things are falling apart, guys. I promise this is a deck and not just the backs of Pokemon cards. But yeah, we'll throw 4 in to start with. Maybe that gets cut down to 3 or something, you know, of course. We have a couple guys, Squawkabilly, Snorlax, Radiant Serena, that cannot be got with the Buddy Poppins. Let's go do maybe like 2 Nest Balls. Let's do a Super Rod. Not necessarily to get Pokemon back in. I think this is Super Rod. Sure. But, that's probably Super Rod, maybe. Not necessarily to get Pokemon back in, but to get energy back in. And we are losing Energy Recycler with rotation. Otherwise, I think that would be a good card for this to put 5 energy back in. So I think Super Rods are kind of our only choice there. We might do 2, so that we have the option of either or. We will have to see about that. And then, what else? If we're going to have Arvins, let's do a Counter Catcher. Okay, that one's broken, so gold it is. Let's do a Boss. Pretty standard supporters here. Any other ones of note? I don't necessarily think so. Any other new cards that would be a good choice for this deck? We do have a draw engine, so maybe Cryptomaniac or Cypher Maniac or whatever. By the way, our ace spec is going to be the Cape. Again, let's just make a tank, not a car. So give this guy 380 HP and like 200 less from attacks or something. Yeah, I don't necessarily know that there's any other trainers that we want in this deck from this new set. Now, what we do want is Mist Energy. Mist Energy prevents effects of attacks to the thing it's attached to. And we really do not want our tank being built up, a bunch of damage reduction, and our opponent goes, ahaha, I'm playing Roaring Moon or Giratina, instant knockout. Doesn't matter how much damage reduction you have. So we want Mist Energies to attach to our Revrooms. I think we'll probably play 3. The downside with Mist Energy is we cannot get it with Metang onto a Revroom. We just have to draw into it, but I think we need it for that kind of scenario. We want some Metal Energies. I am not very good with these decks that statistically need to hit energy, like knowing what the statistical number is. I will just say that outright. And so Metang is one of those where I don't know what the statistical good number for this would be. Like maybe like 12, 14? What the hell is Twerk Jumps? Also, welcome in, Impicus. What the hell is Twerk Jumps? What does that even mean? Yeah, let's start with like 12, maybe, and we might... I don't know what that means. I don't know, figure it out. You gotta give me an actual exercise, my guy. Alright. We're a little over 69 cards, nice. But not an actual legal deck, so we gotta change that. So, let's start by cutting a couple of those maybes. I think the first kind of maybe to go is taking this down to 1 Snorlax. He's nice to have, but we don't necessarily need to have him. Sounds like you twerk while jumping. I mean, sure, if you're reading it literally. Which I don't think I want to see. Don't worry, I would not twerk towards the camera. It would be away. If I am going to even do this. What the hairy guy said. I mean, he does have more hair than me, yes, but... Interesting. Okay. Chat, if you're new here, I have a channel point redeem where you help me get fit and do an exercise, and apparently an exercise also means twerk and jump at the same time. So yeah, full disclosure, I helped a friend move yesterday, so my back and my knees are entirely fucking shot. So this is gonna be besides the worst twerk you've ever seen, because I'm white as hell, the worst white boy twerk you've ever seen. So yeah, enjoy this. Alright, we're popping it out. We're twerking and jumping. How do you twerk and jump at the same time? I think you can hear Depresso laughing off camera. Twerk, jump. Okay, wait, I got it, chat. We're gonna do one. We're gonna jump and land into a twerk. Did I do it? Man, look at those knees go. Okay, we're gonna call that an exercise. It hurt my knees. That's what counts as exercise, right? I guess by definition, your butt was moving. Listen, I told you they're gonna be busted ass white boy twerks. Do not look for me to know how to actually twerk. Yeah, Depresso has just recovered from their laughing fit, and yeah. What else do we want to edit with this deck? Back to what we're actually doing with stream, which is not watch Zach make an ass of himself, even though that is every stream. Who else to cut? I think, well, I really like Walkability to get out of a dead hand. But also Beldum helps us get out of a dead hand by just using Magnetic Lift. So maybe we cut Squawk. See you later, bird. That's another one that might make it back in if I find that this deck's bricking a lot when I start testing it, so we'll see. We might go down to 2 Mist Energy instead. Again, it's really nice, but also against decks that don't have effects, it's just like, all it does is it's a less reliable energy that we can attach. Oh, Revivroom's gone now. At least from this view. I don't know what the hell's happening. Pokegear. Can you get the chat-tot that says pre-recorded messages? Oh, racist chat-tot? I feel like that would be good enough face-to-face setting. No, I can't. However, Ashwin, have you seen the chat-tot illustration rare from this set? We're going to drag it in here just so I can show it easier. This is a beautiful card. And there's a very nice little Easter egg here where you can see that the chat-tot are sitting on wires. Those wires look a lot like musical staffs. The notes are the Pokemon healing, the Pokemon Center healing sound, and the chat-tot cry are the 2 notes. So it's super cool, like very, very beautiful art and super cool little Easter egg. That's definitely, there's a lot of like chase cards I have in the set, and that's definitely one of those chase cards that I want for like pretty in the binder kind of thing. It's not unfortunately super playable beyond like the pre-release kind of goofy format, but it is just a gorgeous card. Speaking of chat, one of my hits from today's pre-release was this Grotle, which I wish we could use for Torterra. But unfortunately, the other Grotle is just entirely superior. But this is a very, very cute, pretty card. Azu Grotle. Well, they're Merrills, but yes, Merrill on a Starly. Yeah, that's a really, really cool card. What else to cut from this deck? These were Ultra Balls. Oh, we can see them now. Interesting. Avin. I think we need Avin to go get our tools. We have 4 Ionos. Let's drop this down to maybe like 2? Just because, honestly, we're going to be doing a lot of Arvin to get our tools. Oh, Ultra Ball's gone again. I don't know what's happening with this website. Maybe we go to 3 of these. Or maybe we... Well, no, getting Buddy Poffin, just statistically having 4 Buddy Poffins, I think is the right move. Just getting Buddy Poffin early. We'll go to 3 Ultra Balls. Just because the odds of being able to get it off the Arvin are pretty decent. Need to cut 3 more cards from this, huh? Am I testing any decks tonight or just building? I'm just building. We cannot test these decks right now in live because they are still a couple weeks out from being released on the web client and playable in real person and stuff. It's just that pre-releases started this weekend, so they're getting me hyped for the new set, for the rotation and stuff like that. So we're building, and the idea of building right now is that once the rotation happens, we could just like slam these right in and start testing them. What was this? That was the Ionos. Maybe we go down to 1 Defiance Vest. It's nice, but it only works when you're behind, so it's not necessarily the best tool choice. Any other thoughts? We do have a lot of energy. Again, I'm not a mathematician. I don't know what the actual right number is. So we'll cut 1. That might be a mistake. That might have just, like, dropped our statistics significantly. But oh well. 4. 4 is, in fact, not the right number of metal energy. It's a little bit higher than that. I do know that enough. Do we cut 1 Buddy Puffin? 5 is also, I think, a little too low. I do think you need a 3-3 of the Beldum Matang. I don't think we can afford cutting there. You are getting there, surely. If you keep going that direction, eventually you will hit the right number. Whether I know it's the right number is different, but... Oh, maybe we go down to just 1 Nest Ball. Just a nice thing to grab with Arven if we need to. But otherwise, especially if we're cutting the Squawkabilly, we just go 1 Nest Ball for Snorlax or Serena, because everything else can be got with the Poffin. Alright, let's call that Revavroom. Let's call that our tank deck, our car. Let's go ahead and copy this to the clipboard, because things are not working tonight properly. Throw it into my text editor, and then moving on. Anybody have anything they want to see in chat? Any decks that they want me to take a crack at building? If not, I got plenty in my list, but I want to do things that you guys want to say. We probably also got maybe like 2 more decks left in us in terms of stream. I am getting a little hungry, getting a little tired. Yeah. Oh, I know we were talking Dialga before, so on the topic of metal, let's do Dialga. Since there's no other suggestions. So, Dialga, and also Ashwin's in here, and I know he likes Diamond and Pearl, because that was our first games. Not dialogue, good autocorrect. So Dialga V and Dialga V-Star. Dialga V-Star is fun. You get to take an extra turn, 2 turns in a row. Wow, that's illegal. Except it's not. It's just your V-Star power for the game. So, let me find my current Dialga list, which obviously is going to look different with different metal acceleration. But it's a good place to start with. So I think we go 3-3 on Dialgas. Pretty simple. Sorry, Lurkin playing some games right now. Totally cool, Gage. We stan lurkers around here. But yeah, I think 3-3 of Dialga. We want to have Beldum and Matang again, so let's go get that package. And I think, again, the choice here is a 3-3 of Beldum and Matang. So let's go get 3 of him. What else do we want? Let's do a fish. Let's do Luminion. And Squawkabilly. I think in the end, we'll probably only go with either Squawkabilly or Luminion, and we'll just have to decide which one is more important based on our trainer package, I think. But I don't think there's a reason to have either. Or not either. I don't think there's a reason to have both. Let me introduce you to something silly. This is one that's definitely on the silly category, may not be worth playing, but let's try it anyway. Orthworm! It takes 4 energy, but that's not a problem. We have Metang. If it has 3 or more metal energy attached, it gets plus 100 HP, so it becomes a 230 HP single prizer. It does 130 bench snipe. It can be really fun for throwing off the prize math. I think a 1-0 is pretty silly and fun. The Worm! Is the Worm good in VGC, Ashwin? I would not know. I don't think there's particularly any other metal types worth including, especially not from the, certainly not from the new set. I guess actually there is a consideration of putting in Metagross if we ever don't have a Dialga set up. It does 100. Super bulky steel. It's immune to ground. Oh, I did not know that. Yeah, that I can see that being very useful. Do we put in that Metagross or do we put in the other Metagross? I think we put in. I think we put in this one just because its Meteor Mash does 100. The new one's Meteor Mash does 60, and then they both have the effect of essentially doubling their damage the next turn. This one takes 2, but theoretically that shouldn't be a problem with Metang, right? We're less worried about the energy acceleration and more worried about just not having a Dialga set up. Our opponent, like, you know, hunting the Dialgas or whatever. And so if we can surprise with the singular Metagross, we'll do that. Also, its ability is pretty silly. Maybe you get lucky with that. Very low odds, but, you know, silliness. So maybe we do Metagross and not the Worm. I apologize to all our Worm fans out there in chat, but that's probably the better move with this evolution line kind of already being partially set up. What else? I think that's probably it for Pokemon, honestly. That's a good little tight, concise Pokemon package. Let's go get 4 Nest Balls. We need 4 Nest Balls for this because the Poffins will not work for Dialga. So 4 Nest Balls, 4 Ultra Balls. I think that's just going to be kind of a given with this. No, where's the art? This is Crown Zenith. That is the superior art, even if it is not loading. What else do we want for this? Adamant is a thought. Adamant is a thought as a supporter. Pretty boy Adamant. Discard 2 metal energy, search your deck for any 2 cards, put them in your hand. So that could be a nice little thought. Maybe we throw in 1, maybe 2. We'll have to see. I think, honestly, our supporters for this are going to be, like, a research and, I don't know, kind of package for draw support. So Adamant might not have the best of uses, but we'll see. I don't know. She's not showing up because this app is falling apart at the seams, but that's okay. Let's get a boss in there. Let's get 2 bosses in there. We're not going to have Arvins in this deck, so I think probably 2 boss, no counter catcher. No, if we've only got 2 loaded, we're going to do the Getsus art. What else? Oh, Stadium. Let's go get the new Metal Stadium. Again, not that I think that it's necessarily necessary, but it is bumping our opponent's Stadium, which can be helpful. So we'll grab 3 for now. Maybe we cut that to 2. We will have to see. What does Dialga's retreat cost? 3. Damn, I'm trying to find a way to use this heavy baton somehow. But yeah, it really does not want to. Ooh, here's a spicy thought. If we need to accelerate, we need to guarantee accelerating metal energy. We put in 1 or 2 of the Cypher Maniac's Code-Breaking, or whatever the official name of this card is. Because we can go put 2 metal energy on top of our deck guaranteed, and then put them on with Metang. I like that idea, especially if we're going to use Luminion. Ultra Ball for Luminion, go get this, 2 Metal Energy on top of deck, Metang, throw it on, Star Chronos. That sounds like a good combo, in my opinion. So let's do that. Any other new trainers worth trying? I don't think so. Besides, obviously, an Ace Spec here that we're going to do in a second. Do we do Radiant Greninja in this deck? I mean, we're going to have enough energy, right, for sure. So maybe a 1 Radiant Greninja in this deck? Although, do we necessarily have the space for it? If we're setting up the Tangs and there's going to be Lumineon Squawkabilly. Actually, I changed my mind. No Greninja! No Frog! No Frog for you. Yeah. And then any other trainers to do? Here, let me look at my current list. I don't think so. The current list has rare candies because we had to use Magnezone and stuff, and that was very clunky. The Metang fixes all that. So yeah, that might just honestly be it. Actually, you know what? Let's go for some Pokegears. Oh, right, I can't because it's got the thing over it. But if we're going to need to find our draw supporters or find the Cypher Maniac, Pokegears might be a good choice right there. Similarly, let's put in a Super Rod or two. Not necessarily to recycle the Dialgas, but to recycle the Metal Energies. A subscription? Welcome in, Stellar Dendrite. Thank you for the resub. Siete! I think that's Puerto Rican for 7 or 7 months, as it would be. The joke here is that she's Puerto Rican. We joke about it not being Spanish for Puerto Rican. I know it's Spanish. Please don't roast me. Please don't cancel me on Twitter.com. Welcome in. We're building some decks. I know you guys were down in a cup today, right? And your hubby did pretty well. How did you do yourself? Please don't cancel me. Yeah, right. How did you do, Stellar? Calling you out on Twitter.com. Got 12! Oh, hell yeah. Nice. Didn't make top cut, but that still means you had a winning record for sure. Good. Nice. What'd you play, by the way? Did you play some kind of Lost Box variant? I know you're a fan of Lost Box variants. What were we doing? Oh, we need to throw some Metal Energy in here. Quite a lot of Metal Energy, in fact. Sablezard with Moon and Crisis Punch. Ooh, nice. Is this... Okay, yeah, and then... Is this just normal? Is this just normal? By the way, we're fighting Pokegear. As you can see, it is just really not wanting to work properly. What if we just fill this up with Metal Energy? What if we just do 14? I don't hate that idea. I don't hate that idea. Doris isn't feeding me and he's starving me. He's not. There's snacks. I'm just too lazy to get up. You could start the oven warming for dinner, since we're only going to do probably one more deck after this. I didn't get to use Crisis Punch once, though. I was sad. Yeah, but even the threat of Crisis Punch, it makes your opponent play different. So, while it is sad that you can't just out of nowhere wham 280, just like the thought of having it is enough that it scares your opponent into playing differently. Where is their girl dinner? It's happening, it's happening. I'm not touching the oven, knowing my luck I would blow it up. Oof, yeah. Alright. I don't, actually, looking at this, I don't hate having both the Squawkabilly and Lumineon. If opening hand sucks, but we have a Nest Ball, you Squawkabilly. And then Lumineon later, with like Ultra Ball, Lumineon, Cypher Maniac, put 2 Metal on Metang, Star Chronos. So I like actually having both those options. Since when is it 9:30? I know, right? Time changes and all that. Alright, so... Let's see, Iono's researches... We got a lot of supporters in this deck, honestly. Are there items that make sense for this deck, or no? I don't know that there are items that make sense for this deck besides Ultra Balls and Nest Balls. Do we put Great Balls in? Do we just find Pokemon more readily? We don't have a lot of Pokemon, though, so I don't know if Great Balls necessarily make sense. Time change dinner. I know, crazy, right? Yeah, are there other item cards that even make sense to put in this, or no? What about tools? Does it make sense to put in, like, a Defiance Band or something? I don't necessarily think so either. Does Defiance Band fix math? Not really. We're going to be doing multiples of 4. So it doesn't... No, because we're going to do 200 and then 240. So having a Defiance Band... I guess it makes sense to hit 220 and 230, but... What are the odds that we hit the Defiance Band? I don't... Yeah, I mean, we don't have Arvin, so... No, I think we just say, you know, fuck it, we ball. We could honestly, to just hit the Metangs more, we could probably cut Adaman. Probably cut, like, a Research? Maybe, let's, you know what, let's just cut a couple Pokegears. Let's up this metal count. 17? Sure, let's go for it. Did Drew tell you about the Dr. Pepper milkshake at Whataburger? He did. I am so jealous. Y'all making me want to go down there now. Go to the cup with you. Yeah, again, with these Metang type, look at the top cards of your deck and attach energy, I don't know what the ideal energy count is. Somebody who's smarter than me will figure it out. So let's go with 17 for now. And if it's 17 right here. And if it's not oh! Chat! We forgot an Ace Spec. We forgot the whole mechanic of the new set. We forgot an Ace Spec. Prime Catcher's just too good. Prime Catcher's the choice here. So let's put Prime Catcher in. Let's drop a Metal Energy by 1. Yeah. Easy choice. Road Trip, let's go. Yeah. Next time there's a tournament down there, and we go together. I know at least where we have to stop by before going home. Alright, I think this is a Dialga deck. I think this is something with the Lord of Time. Or the Lord of Time Centaur version. It's technically the origin form Dialga. Yeah. I think this one definitely might see some playtesting and changing, but it is very hard to playtest this right now, so we're just going to save this as the version for now, and then change it up when we can actually playtest on live easier than playtesting in person. They have lots of good food, yeah. You should work on Garchomp. Thank you for the suggestion, Cellar Dendrite. We will do Garchomp. Let's chomp it up. That is another deck that I wanted to make. I do have Garchomps at this point, so let's get some Gibbles. Oh wait, we gotta set this back to standard. We'll get the Fighting type Gibble just because it can actually attack and do 20 damage, which who knows, maybe that makes the difference. And Garchomp. I think similar to Meowscarada, this is a deck that we are just going to have to build with pure rare candy and the knowledge that Devo will just destroy us. Hell yeah, Chompy. It is a Terra Chompy, so it is a water-type Terra-shifted Garchomp, which is pretty fun. And it lets us use Irida, as you're about to see. So let's go get 3 Garchomps? I don't know if 3 or 4 is the number. I think probably we'll start with 3. These like stage 2 decks like that 3 number. Do I have a Garchomp list prepared right now? Let me see if I have a Garchomp list to go off of. I do, so we can kind of play off of this Garchomp list. So Garchomp, Radiant Greninja is going to be our Radiant of choice, obviously. Synergy there is perfect. We can grab with Irida, all that stuff. It's the boy. Let us go grab a Bidoof and Bibarel. I think that is the best draw engine for this deck, besides Radiant Greninja, but I think that's the most consistent draw engine for this deck, is the Bidoof Bibarel combo. Oh, good. That one's not showing up. We'll do the fancy one then. I do 3 and 2 in my deck that I'm workshopping, kind of modeled after Chien-Pao a bit. Oh, like 3 and 2 Gibble and Garchomp? Yeah, we can definitely think about that too. Let's see what our other attackers are. And that might make more sense to go to 3 and 2 if we have a pretty decent band of other attackers. Yeah, speaking of other attackers, at least one of, if not 2, of the Lucario that does damage for all the fighting energies on it is going to be good. So let's figure out what the ideal Riolu here is. 50, 50, 50. That one has 70 HP. That might be a good choice. That does 50 damage, though. That could be fun for, again, like moons or something like that. So probably that is our ideal Riolu. The Scarlet and Violet base. We learning. Yeah, this is all testing. This is me getting your input, my input, finding if things make sense, and if they don't, we'll cut them. We'll play test these when the sets actually come out, and we can play them online, and see if these were the right decisions or not. Anyway, it's this guy, Aura's Field, discard all fighting energy, stack to 60 more damage for each card you discard in this way. And Garchomp lets you attach fighting energy, so you attach the fighting energy to Lucario, and then switch in Lucario and blow somebody up. So nice little combo there. Let's start by putting 2 of those guys in there. Let's do typical Manaphy Jirachi combo, I think. And you just put down whoever you need for the actual matchup. Because I think you have the bench space in this to do that. Any other Pokemon that are worth considering? I know Groudon is one. The Haldean Fates Groudon, not Groupon. Magma Purge, discard up to 4 energy from Pokemon. This attack does 60 damage for each card you discard in this way. So it's similar to Lucario. It is a basic, which it has the advantage of, but it does take 3 energy to do that attack as opposed to Lucario's 2. And Garchomp attaches 2. Or no, it attaches 3 with Hydrolander. So maybe that's actually the play. Let's put it in for consideration for now for 1. I like also a 1/1 of the silly Swablu Altaria combo. So what does ideal Swablu? Ideal Swablu would be probably Surprise Attack Swablu. Probably Surprise Attack Swablu, right? Again, get lucky with a moon. Oh wait, that one's rotating. That is an Evolving Sky, so we cannot do that one. So yeah, probably... What is this? 20 less damage? No, that's pretty bad. Probably Continuous Spin Swablu then. And why we do that, the Altaria is a cheeky little guy. Magical Echo, move all damage counters from one of your bench Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon. Garchomp has free retreat, so you tank a big hit with Garchomp, and then you swap in the Altaria. If we're going to use the Altaria, I actually like the Groudon better, because Groudon can discard from anybody. Lucario has to be itself. So let's cut the Lucario, actually, for this version that we're building. Again, I think there's a second version where you just rely entirely on Lucario and you don't do this tricksy stuff. Which one will be better? You have to playtest. Drillbur from Temporal Forces. Yes, that is... So when looking at new things, for sure, that Drillbur is a nice one of. Drillbur, again, we're kind of limited with Japanese, but its ability, when you play it from your hand to your bench, go search your deck, find 3 fighting energy, and discard them. Garchomp likes discards, likes fighting energy and discard. So that could be a nice one of to put some energy early into the discard. Whether he stays or not, I think depends on our total Earth and Vessel count. We'll have to see about that. Any other fighting types from the new set worth considering? I don't think so. Iron Boulder is just laughably bad. Yeah. I think that's probably it. Sandy Shock, I know you mentioned Sandy Shock. I think Sandy Shock, putting another EX in play, putting a 2-prizer in play. I assume you're talking about Sandy Shock's EX. I don't think it's the move, because it can help you get fighting back in play for, like, Groudon, sure. But it's also a basic EX, so you're giving your opponent an easy way to get 2 prizes off of doing, like, 200 damage. So I think it's more of a liability than anything. So probably not, in my opinion. Alright. I think that's probably a good place to start with Pokemon, and we could circle back if we think there's any other ones worth noting. Oh! One thing I did have, actually. I have this in my current list, and I think it's really cheeky. Really cheeky. Iron Hands EX. Because you can put 3 Fighting Energy on with Garchomp, you attach a Lightning for turn, and you amp. I think that's really, really cheeky. Whether that survives the cut or not, I think depends on how much we're leaning into it, like Garchomp Groudon or not. But I think it's got the same kind of idea as Chien-Pao, where, you know, you could just do the one manual attach and the other ones come from, like, something where it's not supposed to be used in that sense. So, we'll put it in as maybe. We'll consider it. Alright, items. Let's go grab our favorite new item, Buddy Poffin. So we are going to put 4 of those in. We are, of course, going to do 4 Iridas. Because this card is just dope for water decks, especially water evolution decks. So 4 Iridas. Going along with that, we need candies to get our Garchomp out. So we will do probably 4 rare candies, if Garchomp could be our main attacker. We might cut that to 3 depending on space, we'll see. Heavy Ball. If we got the Greninja, we want the Heavy Ball. Cool, Heavy Ball's not showing up. Sweet. Is there a reason to play a Nest Ball? I think there's a reason to play probably 2 Nest Balls, honestly. For Groudon and for Greninja. Although Greninja we can get with, Irida. But we'll play a Nest Ball for Groudon, so that we can Irida for a Nest Ball to get Groudon, if we find that we need that. Or Iron Hands, for that matter. Ultra Balls, so that we can get the barrel engine running. Let's do maybe 3 to start with. This is obviously the correct art, the squishy one. Ultra Ball to discard for Beebs. You and I are on the same wavelength, Stellar. So we'll do 3. We might up that to 4. We'll have to see the space. But Ultra Ball is going to help us get the barrel. It's going to help us get, like, you know, Altaria and stuff like that. But we don't need it for the Garchomp because Irida gets us that for the Garchomp. So I don't think you need a full playset of Ultra Ball in this deck. Best art! Absolutely. Stadiums. What stadium does this deck want? I think this deck wants Artisan. Before rotation, I think it was running Path to the Peak, but obviously that's rotating. So I think Artisan's probably your best choice. Unless anybody has any other suggestions. It might be just a 2 Artisan, just one of those ones where we have it in there to bump our opponent if need be. And actually, if we're going to that many Artisan, we can probably just survive with 1 Nest Ball, because then Groudon can be gotten with the Artisan, Swablu can be gotten with the Artisan. So yeah. The Nest Ball just being for Greninja or Iron Hands. What else do we want? Let's grab a Super Rod. Just to recycle Gibbles and stuff if they get knocked out too early. We'll just do 1, because we don't need to recycle energy necessarily, because Garchomp's going to be doing that for us. If we are going to play the Iron Hands, we do need at least 1 Earthen Vessel. I think maybe even 2 would be great for this deck. Earthen Vessel's not showing up. I love Pokegear. It is working so well. Just remember all these cards in your head, chat. Come on. Just that easy. Alright, if we're running Irida's kind of the same idea as Arven. Let's go put a counter catcher in. Actually, if the gold art is showing up, that's the one that we're going to use, so that we can try to do that less. What else do we want? What else do we want? Let's put in at least 1 switch, so that we don't get the barrel boss stalled. Actually, if we're going to play Groudon, and Groudon's going to discard from himself and then survive a hit, we might need to do 2 switches. So let's do 2 switches. Anything else? Oh, let's get a couple of the standard supporters in there. So let's do 1 boss, because we've got the counter catcher. All of the bosses have disappeared. Cool, that one. And let's do a couple Ionos for hand disrupt to kind of get a new hand with the barrel. Jeez, okay. I think this is going to be our last deck of the night because the program is also falling apart. And I'm hungry and all of that jazz. Anything else with supporters or anything? Any of the new supporters make sense for this deck? I don't think Cypher Maniac does. I think Explorer's Guidance is really a bait in most decks. Like, you go like, oh, I could discard some fighting energy, but if 6 of those cards, like 4 of them are good, and you have to discard a couple of them, then it's going to be sad. Yeah, I don't know that there's necessarily any other ones. I guess you could maybe make an argument for Morty's Conviction. Sure. And that you discard a fighting energy and draw a bunch. But we already kind of have Ninja for that. I think I'd rather just have, like, Ionos and stuff. Ace spec-wise, I think Prime Catchers are our best ace spec right here. The max belt would take Hydrolander to doing 210, which is just short of a good number. If it did 220, that would be the choice, I think. But doing 210 is not much different than doing 160, honestly, in this game. So we will skip on the max belt. We will do Prime Catcher. It's just too good. Yeah. Let's get some energies in there. If we are going to have the spicy Iron Hands, let's throw in the spicy 1 electric energy. Or actually, they're called lightning energy, Zach. So 1 lightning energy. Fighting energies, we are going to do a number of cards. Let's start with maybe 8. Maybe 9. Let's go 10 energy total. 9 fighting and a lightning. I think that's good. Oh, we cut out the Riolu and Lucario, so let's bump up to 2 Groudons, for sure. For sure on the 2 Groudon thing. Anything else worth including? And chat, feel free to jump in here if you have ideas on other things worth including. That might be kind of it, in my opinion. Oh, yes, you did miss me twerk jumping, which was something. Somebody will clip it, or it'll be in the bot or something. Is this... Where is Iono? Where'd she go? Is this... No, that's a Crown Zenith card. That's the Ultra Balls. Is this Iono? I think that's Iono. 2 Iono sounds like a good number. Did we do another boss? Did we do 2 bosses, maybe? I like that idea. Especially if we're gonna go hands. We want to amp very much. I wish I clipped it. Mobile clipping sucks. I know. Mobile clipping's terrible. You can go back and clip it on that later. Because the VOD will stay up for this. And, you can clip from VODs, too, if you want to. If you're really interested in doing it, press up. Yeah. I mean, that's 60 right there, and I am kind of liking the 60. Any other suggestions, chat? Twerk jumping? Yeah, it was an exercise, according to Impicus. That he used channel points to redeem for. I don't think it was an exercise, but it hurt my knees, so that kind of counts, right? Yeah. I think this might be a pretty good starting point for Garchomp. I think this is another one that's going to take a decent amount of playtesting to figure out the actual list. But we'll start with this, and we'll see how it goes. And because this doesn't include a lot of, actually, new cards, I could probably... This is another good candidate for me to build in person pretty early into my my opening of Temporal Forces. And really, I just have to get Prime Catcher, essentially. I already have Poffins, and the rest of those are older cards. So yeah, let's copy that to the clipboard. Let's put it on the clipboard. A reminder, chat, all of these lists are going to be in Discord. I just have to make them pretty and not have these error messages and stuff. So I will work on that after stream, either tonight or maybe tomorrow. We will have to see how much time and what I'm doing and stuff like that. Feed my person. I am hungry. Yes, I'm dead. So yeah, we are gonna end the stream there. Let's go to the full screen cam. Full screen cam. Hello, this is me, Cam. Full screen. Just kidding. My name is not Cameron. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight as we did this interesting, different stream. I've got a lot of other deck ideas, but I don't know that I'm necessarily going to do it. It's a little frustrating with the Pokegear app kind of breaking and not being cooperative. And so I don't necessarily know if I want to do this again. But if you guys are interested in my ideas for deck lists, hit me up on my Discord. I'm going to manually post the Discord link in chat because of being a poopy butt. But yeah, let me find my about page here. Let me get the Discord. But yeah, copy link. Please don't double up the audio in some weird way. And there we go. Okay, so there's the link to Discord. Also, if you're watching the VOD, it is somewhere around me. The bot is broken right now. I apologize. But I will post the list from today there. It's a great place to talk about them, share your opinions, your thoughts. Ask if you have any. If you have an archetype that you wanted to see, but I didn't get to in the stream, ask me what my thoughts are, and I can kind of put it together off stream. Tell you what I would play. And yeah. The more Meowscarada. Yes, so definitely, in a couple weeks when these cards are released on TCG Live, we are definitely going to do a stream or two of testing these lists and some other ideas that I have for sure. So look forward to that as well. In the meantime, what are we going to do? We're going to play. I think the next stream, we're going to rob a bank. I think we are going to be a turnip that robs a bank next stream. Turnip Boy robs a bank. Nice little roguelike that came out a month and a half ago. I didn't get to because I was taking a little bit of a hiatus from streaming, but I want to get back to that. I saved that as a stream game because the first game had tons of fun humor, and I want to be able to experience that with you all. When will that stream be happening? I don't know. Right now, my stream schedule's a little bit all over the place because I want to stream when I feel like it. I want to make these quality streams. I want to be chipper, and I don't want to feel like it's a forced job or anything. So, for instance, I had a really great weekend this weekend. I had some time tonight, and I was in a really good mood, so I wanted to share this with you guys. But you know, tomorrow I'm back to work for the work week. So if I'm tired from work, I might not stream for a couple days, kind of thing. So again, the best place to know if I do go live, when I do go live, would be either following on Twitch and then having notifications on, or joining that Discord link because I go ahead and post when I go live in Discord. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you for all the support tonight. Thank you for the resub, Stellar Dendrite. I really, really appreciate that. I don't have anybody to send you tonight for a raid, so I will leave you with the rest of your Sunday night. Go to bed a little early tonight, catch up on that sleep that you missed from Daylight Savings Time, and I will catch you all in the next one.